And what's good, YouTube? It's Supreme J here. Now today we're going to be doing a cool video. I can't remember the name of the creator, but they basically did a video titled why I bought and then the car that they had. So that's what this is going to be today. We're going to be doing why I bought an F82 M4. Now before we get to driving and all of that good stuff, I just want to give you guys a quick little thing about how it looks aesthetically. So one thing for me that I wanted is I only drive coupes. I love coupes. I'm a coupe guy. So that's one of the reasons why I bought it. But also, it's a pretty good looking car. You know, it looks good. It looks sporty. It's not the most sportiest compared to my Corvette, but it still gets its job done. So those are two reasons right off the bat. But now we're going to go ahead. We're going to open up the garage door, and I'm going to give you guys a little cold start. Let's go ahead and give that bad boy a press. Alright, so we're about to go for a drive, but let me tell you guys about some of the things that I look for inside of a car when it comes to a car that I'm going to be buying and daily driving. First off, although I would prefer seat warmers and seat coolers, seat warmers are definitely a much needed necessity. It gets too cold in the winter time for my butt, and so yeah, I like to have some seat warmers for sure. I also like cars that have Apple CarPlay. I think my Bluetooth is off. I gotta put that on real quick. But yeah, I also like cars that have Apple CarPlay, so that was a must-have. So overall, any more modern car, you know, it's just me and my girlfriend, so here and there I'll have friends in the back, but it's a pretty good size coupe. It's nothing insane like a Camaro. Like, you could not fit a regular person back there in a Camaro. But, you know, I got my gym bag right here. The trunk space is good. So all of those things, as far as practicality goes, this car, it checks the boxes. Now, one of the best things about this car is if you look in the bottom right corner, you can see that it has the Efficient, the Sport, and the Sport with the little suspension, the steering wheel, and then the throttle response. And so that's what makes this car so good as a daily driver, is that from the push of these buttons right here, I have 3 adjustable settings as to far as how I want to basically change my driving experience. So this is what I drive on when I'm driving regularly, Efficient mode, but with sports suspension and sports steering. So that keeps the suspension from getting too stiff for me, but also, and the steering from not being too stiff, but not too loose either. And then Efficient mode, the throttle response is really tamed. You don't even feel like you're in an M4 basically, but it's good for especially like traffic and stuff, because this DCT can shift, can get a little bit clunky in traffic, I've noticed. And you can also change how fast it shifts right here, and that I keep on 1 for regular driving. But then when I want to spice things up a little bit, I put the car in M1 mode, and so now I have the Sport Plus, you know, throttle response, so the car feels a lot quicker. And then I have the DCT shifting 1 up as well, and so that is really fun. That makes for a lot funner of a driving experience, and that's where you really get to enjoy the car that you're driving. So yeah, and another thing that I really like about this car as a daily driver is the visibility. I test drove a ZL1 and it did not have good visibility, and I don't want to ever be scared about, you know, getting into accidents or stuff. Obviously I know you have to check your, look over the shoulder, check the mirrors, all that good stuff, right? But bad visibility is bad visibility. It just makes driving harder than it would have to be. And also this car has some good technology features that I like in it for daily driving practicality, like the blind spot monitors and good stuff like that. So yeah, that's like all of the good things about it, and that's what I'm showing you guys, is that this is like 95% of what I use the car for. I use it for daily driving situations where, you know, today, right now, I'm going to the gym, or later I'm going to work, all of those things. And so also it handles corners really well for, you know, it's M car, but it's foggy right now, so we're going to be more tame on driving, because it's actually pretty foggy still. So now let's talk about it from a financial standpoint, because there were some things going around in the background that basically did limit, though, however, my options for car shopping. So if you guys recall, I had a C7 Corvette. it was stolen, and as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, the situation I was going through with my insurance, I still had that car under my name when I was car shopping for my next car because I was dealing with insurance. And so what that meant is that I didn't have a wide range of cars to choose from, and the M4 was basically the best option within that price range. I was basically looking at cars between $40,000 to $50,000 at that time, because of the fact that, you know, I was limited for what I would get approved for. And the M4 was at the bottom of that spectrum, especially this specific car, which is the one, of course, I ended up buying. It came with already some tasteful modifications, and so I'll be honest, that played a big part into why I got this car. If I would have had, you know, not that restriction with the whole insurance thing going on, I might have very well picked up a Mark V Supra, possibly an M2 Comp, or maybe something else different. But yeah, so financially, this car, it just made the most sense in the moment for me. Also, the fact that it had mods on and my car had just gotten stolen and I didn't want to restart a build from scratch, that made the most sense to me as well. So those factors definitely played a huge role into things. And I think it's why, though, that although I do like this car and it's a solid car, you know, it's just not, it doesn't give me the same feeling that my Corvette did. And so, you know, it's not a car that I see myself having for a long time, because of those reasons. You know, I don't regret buying this car because the situation that I was in, you know, I got what I could for more and be more willing to take it out for longer trips, which is always nice. Sometimes I don't want to take my car out when I had a V8 because it would just eat up a lot of gas, you know. One thing that scared me about buying this car that I should tell you guys is the fact that it's a BMW, right? And that they have, you know, problems and stuff. For example, in this car, there's the crank hub issue that, although I do believe it's overblown, is still a possibility. I think the valve covers on these cars go bad. Could possibly not be that common, but still a possibility. But also something that I was affected by, the top mount intercooler. That's notorious for cracking and leaking coolant into the engine, basically. And that did happen to me, and that is what happened. And so things like that, you know, it did kind of scare me. And BMW cars, they're a little bit finicky when it comes to, you know, sometimes me doing one thing will trigger something else. Or one time when I fixed my tie rod that was bad, it ended up triggering, or it ended up causing the acceleration sensor to go out because you had it disconnected. And so just from disconnecting it basically took a crap on me. So there's things like that, you know, that kind of scared me into getting a BMW. Obviously, I ended up getting one. We have completed our drive, and that is gonna wrap up why I bought a BMW, why I bought an F82 M4, for all of those reasons right there. What you guys think in the comments down below? If you guys have an F80 or F8X BMW, what do you guys think? Overall, like I said, I think it's a pretty solid car, especially for, you know, the low 40s price range that you can get a lot of these from, and, you know, some decent options. And like I said, and I love the customization features to change your driving experience. I think that that's the best part about this car. And so yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know what videos you guys want to see next. And we're on our way to 2K, so thank you for that a lot. And that being said, peace.